Good morning, I'm Keith B, and I'm back in the lab with another quick guide on offense fundamentals. Now, a lot of people might pick up this character here, Devil Jin, at one point or another, and someone probably said to you,
"Dude, you should use back 4.
And you were probably like,
"Yeah, dude."
And maybe you got into the games and you started playing, and you're like, back 4 sure seems good. It's safe on block, as I just showed. It's juicy +6 on hit. And if you get a counter hit, it's a counter hit launcher, right? I don't know Devil Jin's Tekken 8 combo, but it's a counter hit launcher. So this is a really useful button, seemingly. It's 17 frames, and it is safe, and it counter hit launches. That's a premium type button in Tekken 8. Problem is, if you're in an actual match and you're like trying to figure out where to place this thing, and people start mashing on you, it might be kind of difficult to counter hit it. And so there's a concept in 3D fighting games that I think most people who like come from a 3D fighting game background just kind of do intuitively. Like if you're a Virtua Fighter player or a DOA player, you might be watching this knowing exactly what I'm going to say, and you're going to be like,
"Yeah, duh, dude."
But if you are someone who comes from like a Street Fighter background or just like a 2D fighting game background, this concept can be kind of counterintuitive. It can be kind of weird to piece together. I know this because I came from a Street Fighter background, and when I first figured this out, like someone had to explain it to me. I thought it was like not super obvious. That's why I'm making a video about this. And what I'm trying to get at here is this move right here is a 17 frame counter hit launcher. So that means I need to hit you before you hit me, and I'll get this counter hit crumple, and I have 17 frames to do so. Now, frames in Tekken, I didn't explain this in my last video, so I'm explaining it now. Frames in Tekken are basically like frames of animation. There are 60 of them in a second, because this game is hard stuck at 60 frames per second. It's like the amount of frames that a move has. This takes 17 frames until it becomes active, or until it can actually like hit the person. Now, we can look at certain moves. You'll see I've got like a jab is +1 on block. That sounds good. +1 is not enough to get to 17. That's because most characters' fastest option is jab, and jab is 10 frame startup, right? So +1, jab into jab, that's a great option. But jab into back 4 on block, not going to do it. If they mash, I'm going to get counter hit, because that's 17 minus 1, that's 16. So if I'm looking around Devil Jin's move list for just like options, he's got up forward 3. That's only +3. Up forward 3 and jab jab, that'd be good. But it's also 28 frame startup, which isn't the fastest compared to like a lot of the other moves in this game. If you want to get a little fancy, he can do a while running 3 out of his crouch dash, which is +6. That's nice, but you see the pushback there is makes it a little difficult to frame trap, because now my move isn't gonna. It's gonna be some space between us, so it's not gonna hit him immediately at the 17th frame. And also, he can do his backdash, and then my move would whiff. It's also easier to sidestep stuff the more distance there is usually. So it's a lot riskier to throw this out, and they have a lot less incentive to mash when there's pushback. So he does have Morning Crow stance now. It's a new stance, and he's got Morning Crow 1, which is +8. And that will totally work. You can do Morning Crow 1 into back 4. Beautiful, right? That's great. He didn't have that in older games. That's a brand new move for Tekken 8. He did have back 4, so as if I'm piecing together, like reverse engineering how to play Devil Jin, I'm like, well, he's missing something. What's he missing? And that's the concept I was talking about, this non-intuitive concept, because if I want to get in and run offense, and I want big plus frames, playing for blocks is not necessarily my best option here. Yeah, I could go for Morning Crow 1, but I need something else than that to start my offense with. My jab, I showed you it was +1 on block, +8 on hit, point blank. Down 4-1, +5 on hit, point blank. So they actually nerfed his down forward 1 in this game too to make his poking game a little less powerful. So if I'm playing even my 2 jab plus 9, plus 8, plus 5, these are situations where my back 4 is going to beat everything or almost everything that my opponent can do. You can see even if I just try to like move away from this offense, he's too plus for me to reliably sidestep this stuff. I can't move away from it very well. I can backdash, but then I just block, and then it's safe on block. With some pushback, if you want to know how to use pushback, you can check out that video up there on pushback that I did last week. But this is just super hard, and if I'm mashing, I am going to lose almost all of the time in almost all the situations. That time, I don't know what I did there. So, what does all this mean? Well, like I said, if you're a 3D fighting game player, you probably have been like, yeah, duh, at this point. The key here is what you want to do is hit confirm your fast pokes, like your jab, like your down forward 1, and use that, identify in the game, in the actual match of Tekken, plus a counter hit move. And what's going to start happening is your opponents are going to get scared to press buttons on hit. Most decent Tekken players, like, you know, red ranks to purple ranks and up, they start realizing they can't press here or they die. So people will start turtling up a little bit when you hit them with these pokes, because these pokes are so plus. And then when that happens, you now have created a timing where you know that they're going to guard. And what do Mishimas do when they know their opponent's going to guard? They go low, because they have super powerful lows. You don't have to let the hell sweep rip. I mean, you totally can. If you want to play that style with Devil Jin, go for it. If you're feeling like you have a life lead, or you just feel like you need to play a little safer, you got down 3. You can send that. It's plus 1 with some pushback. You could send your down back 2. Whatever lows you want to do, and it's not something that's exclusive to Devil Jin or exclusive to Mishimas. We could take our guy Kazuya here. You know, hit confirm a poke, down back 4. Hit confirm a poke, counter hit move. That's the idea. Hit confirm your pokes and use the plus frames to enforce a counter hit timing. And once you've gotten them to defend, then you're going to use that same timing to go low. Because the whole point of going low is you want them to duck or mash. If they're already mashing, no point in going low. If you're just going to mash on this every time, cool. I don't need lows to beat you. Once you stop mashing, okay, now I got to do this. And then once you start ducking, you know, now we're playing 50-50 game. Just to show this is not an exclusive Mishima technique, you can see here, Brian down forward 2, plus 5. Brian forward 3, 16 frames. So unless they do a jab or a dick jab, this is a setup that's always going to work. Brian jab, plus 8. There's basically nothing they can do to interrupt these moves. I don't mean to keep snake edging. It's forward 3. I played too much Azucena. Alright, so find the pokes on your character, because you'll see not all pokes are created equal. Down forward 1 is only plus 1, because it's hit confirmable, but down forward 2 is very plus. Down forward 2-1 is very plus. Hatchet kick is very plus. Now, Brian is a character who is built around counter hits, but in general, jab is every character's key poke, and it's super plus on hit. There's a lot that goes into that, and there's a lot that I'm kind of glossing over here, but the key takeaway from this video is the value of hit confirming your pokes to get big plus frames that you can use to play counter hit and 50-50 off of. Hopefully, this was helpful for some of you who are just starting out or coming over from 2D games, or maybe you just like hearing people talk about Tekken. Any of the above, thank you for watching. If you made it this far, you should subscribe. YouTube says that if I get enough subscribers, then they'll let me have food again.